quantum is gaining serious momentum. Just last March, NVIDIA hosted its own Quantum Day, and billions of dollars are pouring into the space. This week, the buzz will land in South Florida, or Wall Street South, as some call it, when Quantum Beach 2025 kicks off on Wednesday. Joining us to break it all down is the founder of Quantum Beach and managing partner at Quantum Coast Capital, Matt Cimaglia. Matt, welcome to the show.
Ashley, thank you so much for having me on.
So Quantum Beach 2025 is happening in West Palm Beach on Wednesday. We'll be speaking with NYSE-listed companies D-Wave and IonQ in Wednesday's show. Can you give us a preview of the conference?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really great conference because I've been to dozens over the year, and it was always quantum to quantum people. So it was always technologists talking to other technologists. And what I always say is that quantum has a communications problem, and that the regular market doesn't understand really what's happening behind the scenes in this incredible technology.
All right, and speaking of that, for our viewers, what is quantum?
So imagine if you're a runner and you want to go from the beginning of the race to the end of the race. So quantum could actually teleport you there, and what happens in between is you figure out the optimal route. So there might be hundreds of you that go out and scatter around and try and find the optimal route to the end point. Another analogy is sort of this idea of a coin flip. So think of a coin as binary, so heads or tails, ones or zeros, or on or off. And when that happens, you always can know that it's heads or tails, right? But in a quantum state, it could be everything in between. And that's the really spooky thing about it, is that there's a lot of interactivity that's happening. And then until it's called, it is that state. And that's where we have optimization. And that's when we're actually able to go out and find problems in a way quicker way than we would with classical computer using binary code.
All right. And can you talk more about these computers? What do they look like? How big are they?
Yeah, so essentially a quantum computer is something that it comes in many forms, but for the most part, it's a room-sized computer. So it's not something that you're going to own or you're going to put in a basement at your house or on your desktop. But these are things that are very fragile. So any kind of minute vibrations or even temperature is a huge area. Many of these quantum systems have these cryo chambers around them that actually bring it to negative 470 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 10 millikelvin. And that's because it gets into that quantum state at that freezing temperature. Sort of the known universe is a little bit warmer than that.
And Matt, what are some use cases for it? What is it going to be able to do?
So, quantum computers, I always joke that it's going to end up touching every part of our lives. So imagine you and I here 40 years ago, and I'm telling you something about this new up-and-coming technology called the internet. Nobody would have imagined that it's going to touch every part of our lives, but here we are today, and I'm broadcasting to you via the internet. And so when we look at quantum systems or quantum technologies, this is going to be something that, again, touches every part of our lives. Anything from pharmaceuticals, so drug discovery. Cybersecurity is going to have a huge impact, material science, even stock markets and trading and financial analysis. We're going to be able to do calculations that were never even imagined to this day with a supercomputer.
Will I have a quantum computer one day?
So yes and no. So this is a really good question, because I think that what we're seeing is you don't actually have an AI cluster that you own right now that you're using an AI service on, right? So you don't actually own that physical hardware, yet you're accessing it through the cloud. Right now that there are several quantum computers on the cloud that you can have immediate access to today, which is really exciting because there's people doing a lot of research and people that are building out quantum applications on these systems. The other thing that I would want to stress is there's other areas of quantum technology that are actually here and in the marketplace right now, and that's quantum sensors and quantum networking. So these are two areas that don't really get talked about a lot because a lot of the hardware companies or the computers kind of take a lot of that fame. But when we start to think about quantum sensors, this is something that might enable a different source of GPS or guidance, if you will. So there's a lot of systems that are out there right now, or companies that are developing on the Earth's magnetic field using the quantum sensors, that you actually can pinpoint exactly where you are, not using satellite technology. And that's really good in areas, especially like we're seeing in Russia and Ukraine right now, where there's a lot of GPS jamming that's going on and it's disrupting signals. So there are other areas of quantum technology that certainly have an advantage right now that are out in the marketplace over the quantum hardware.
And Matt, AI has been dominating the headlines in the past year. When is quantum going to catch up?
So I would say that quantum right now is where we were with AI in about 2019. I know that there's probably going to be some people that are writing in and that are going to try and debunk that or discredit it. I would say that right now we're at that time period where AI is really advanced, and a lot of that was because of the underlying infrastructure that was in place for the internet. When we're looking at quantum, we're actually not following Moore's law anymore. That's really exciting because we're seeing leaps and bounds ahead of where we were even a year ago for some of these quantum systems. I'm friends with some CEOs of other quantum companies, and they've told me that they've far surpassed where they're at on their projections or milestones that they were trying to hit, even for this year. And so that's really exciting because as these quantum systems get smarter, they're training their algorithms and they're getting it a lot more fine-tuned. Right now, we're in this noisy era right now where these qubits are very noisy, and they're dialing that in and fine-tuning it. Google came out with a report a few years ago that said that in order to break RSA encryption, for instance, you'd need 20 million qubits. And then a few months ago, they came out with another report that says you can actually break RSA encryption with 1 million qubits. That means that they've optimized it a lot more just using our technology. That means that we're now in a time period where we're probably within 3 to 5 years of RSA encryption being broken as a sort of guesstimate there.
All right, thanks, Matt Cimaglia, founder and managing partner of Quantum Capital.
Actually, so interesting.